Welcome to the Your Author Platform podcast with John Friedel. You know how you put a lot of time and energy into writing your books for not nearly enough readers? Yeah, I get it. I'm here to help you change that. If you're trying to accelerate your momentum, connect with your audience more than ever before, and become more profitable in ways that your fans want, today's episode will help you move forward with confidence. Hello, authors. It's great to hang out with you for another Your Author Platform podcast episode I do every few days to help you connect with your audience, improve your book sales, and ultimately change your life and theirs for the better. And hopefully, I'm going to change your life a little bit today so you can better connect with your fans. In case you missed it, on my last episode, I went over who I am, what I've done, and what I will be providing you, dear listeners. Today's episode number 3 discusses how building your author's platform to connect with your audience is essential to being massively successful, but what's involved when you're just getting started. I remember the first time I heard of an author's platform. I thought, what's that? This was 9 years ago when I got a great idea for a book and was looking for help. I attended a webinar for a company that offered a white glove service to prepare a book proposal for submission to a publishing house. I purchased the rather expensive service and, apparently surprising them, actually completed the book proposal. I say apparently because their next step, after I'd gone through all the difficulties of putting everything together, the different elements of the book proposal, their task was to edit it for me, and I had to insist they complete that task, which they did, but reluctantly. Now, I know that they counted on their clients not finishing the first part of completing a book proposal, but I did. I remember the owner of the company calling me and saying how much she admired me. Flattery will get you nowhere. It was then, in 2014, that I learned secondhand that publishers and literary agents before them wanted authors to already have a platform. What's a platform? Basically, followers on social media. Nearly a decade ago, that meant Twitter and Facebook followers. With a large number of followers, literary agents apparently found it easier to get publishers to agree to a book deal, or at least seriously consider it because followers meant higher sales. Now, there's a whole lot to unpack here. Assumptions are everywhere, but publishers and literary agents wanted authors to have already done the hard work of creating an audience. 50 years ago, publishing houses were expected to build that audience, and so they did. But now it's also the responsibility of authors. If you approach a literary agent to see if they'll take you on as a customer, they'll ask you about the size and source of your author's platform. Also, wherever your audience is, your velocity of growth on each site. For instance, I now have an author's platform for another business venture. Yes, I did write a book proposal 9 years ago, but no, long story short, I did not traditionally publish my book. Instead, I self-published it and proceeded to learn a lot about how and where to build an author's platform. And this skill and resources I plan to share with you here on my Your Author Platform podcast, as well as my YouTube channel and on my yourauthorplatform.com website. I've since held 222 live streams for my other business based on a nonfiction book I wrote in 2015. I streamed to my 17,893 member Facebook group and my 49,000 plus subscriber YouTube channel with just over 1,000 videos and 5 million views. That Facebook group size is stable, but my YouTube channel still gains about 500 subscribers a month. I'm not mentioning this to brag. I mention this to let you know that I know how to build an author's platform. As you may notice, this is my 3rd episode on this new podcast, and I'm so glad to be here. I also have a dedicated website, YouTube channel, Facebook profile, and Facebook group. I started setting up each of these a few months ago. This topic is also a website article and my first YouTube video. And as we'll discuss in the future, starting a podcast takes a couple of episodes before it starts to be available everywhere, which hasn't happened yet, but will. First, publish an episode. Next, get it on Apple Podcasts, where it will be distributed to hundreds of apps. And then get it on Ghana, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the other specialized destinations. What I'll be covering are what choices I successfully made for my other nonfiction author's platform. the informed choices I'm making for the second nonfiction author platform, and what choices I'm making for yet another author's platform, which is a fiction author's platform. I'm busy writing science fiction under my pen name, J. Hiram Piesel, which is my first initial, middle name, and my last name translated into English. To be clear, I successfully built an author's platform for my first nonfiction book, where book revenue was 4.3% of my total business revenue. Put another way, I've made 20 times my book sales with other revenue streams, and so can you. I'll show you how. To get you started thinking about building your author's platform, realize why you need to do so. Today's internet is fragmented. Yes, there were something like 250 social media sites a decade ago, but the dominant ways to reach most of your audience were Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter. That's not true anymore. Now there are a bunch of big social media platforms, but that just means that they each control a small market share. But your job in this podcast is to realize how little you care about that. What you want and need is to connect to your audience. You don't want and need to be a single person screaming in a packed stadium just like everybody else. Sticking with the simile, you want to be the comic entertaining people on a train about to pull into Grand Central Station. At a baseball stadium, you want to be that person telling interesting stories in line at the hot dog counter. Yes, train cars and hot dog vendor lines don't have many people in them, but we're not talking about physical train cars and hot dog lines. We're talking about you being in the ear of your podcast listener, speaking directly to them, or on a live stream where they can ask a direct question and get a direct answer, or on Facebook, X, Threads, Reddit, emails, and website comments. Being all these places may seem like a lot to accomplish, but I'm here to tell you that it is not. Yes, you'll need to learn a few things: how to speak into a microphone, how to look into a camera, and remembering to smile under both circumstances. Yes, even when recording a podcast, because you bet your audience can tell if you're smiling. Explaining all these things and more will take a bunch of podcast episodes. And that hasn't happened yet unless you're listening to this several months into the future. If so, hello, future people. One question: do we have jetpacks yet? No? Darn it. You need and want to connect to your audience. Why connect? Because that's how you will make money. So why not just say that you need and want to make money? Because first you connect to your audience. Then a side effect is making money. With today's internet shenanigans, your credibility matters. And it is so easy to tell when all someone wants is your money. If you're not there to connect, everyone will know. It's everywhere. And the best way to stand out from those that want money only is to be sincerely sincere, if that makes sense. It's so obvious when they're not. Please understand the subtlety here. You can and will make money, and haters will say you're only in it for the money. But being paid for a helpful service isn't scamming someone. Jealous and envious people ignore this distinction, and so will some of your competitors who have their own ulterior motive. Again, that's another topic for a future date. There's so much to discuss. I admit this. Where do you even start? Well, use my example. Go live. Start a podcast. Say hello, talk about what you've done and what you want to do. Move forward, and before long, you'll have a popular podcast, YouTube channel, Facebook groups, website, email lists, membership groups, and online courses. Just like I have for my other business and will have for this business as soon as possible. I hope you enjoy the ride. Remember to visit yourauthorplatform.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 3 essential tools for improving your connection with fans, including the one I've used as a nonfiction author and influencer. The next episode of the Your Author Platform podcast will include an initial presentation on generative artificial intelligence, which I'm sure you'll agree is yet another essential topic. That's the end of another great episode of the Your Author Platform podcast. Thanks so much for listening. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. Until the next episode, connect with fans and grow more popular. Bye.